Hi everyone, sorry about the last live stream. This is Saturday's live stream. We had a minor error with the sound on our previous one, so I'm waiting on people in live to come back. I'm very sorry about that. I have no idea when that does it. Hi! Is it okay now, the sound, guys? I never know what's going on with this internet. Is it okay now? Yeah, okay. Don't know what happened there. It kind of just goes, and then you know it's the internet. You never know what's going to happen. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. So those of you that are watching this back, we had hi Linda. We had our first time round, and it seemed to just go. Andrew, sorry, can you just put that on the bed? Sorry, everyone. These internet sometimes they do play an error with us. Linda, it's been bad recently, hasn't it, with the notifications? Right, sorry guys, sorry about that. So we're back and we haven't done anything new on this, so you've not missed anything. You're not late, Beth. It's okay. I've not done anything extra on this. I caught up with bits that I hadn't done, so it's fine. So the colour selection that I was going to go for on some of these flowers was be a lay down of lavender in PC 934. Then I'd go in with Dahlia Purple in 1009, and then I've got Peacock Blue in 1027. So sorry about that, everybody. This is round 2 of our live stream. Thankfully, we hadn't started, so this will be the part 3 from the beginning. I'm so sorry, guys. Hiya, DJ. Hopefully, we won't get chucked out this time with a horrible sound in our ears. Hi, Norma. That's okay. You lurk away. Okay, so what I'm going to do is be selective on which ones I would like this to go on. Now, we've got these individual flowers here are pretty much the same. However, I don't want to do them all the same. So I'm going to mix these between a blue and purple and a pink and red, I think. And then all of these will be pink and red. And another one will be some very much like this. The tops of them. I'm so sorry, everyone. Yeah, Joe Jill, he is feeling a lot better. Thank you so much. Yeah, he is. He's back at work today. Okay, so I'm going to put the lavender down first, and I'm going to go from the inner petal out, and I'm going with just a regular light pressure, because you get a lot of pigment off Prismacolors because they are quite waxy and you don't need a huge amount down. So hi Joyce. Hi, welcome everybody. So we're just going to put, when I say about pressures, I just say that because I get sometimes some questions for beginners, and when they start off they're like, how do I know I'm doing this okay? There isn't a right and wrong, and I say that every time. There isn't. So the whole point in colour is that you enjoy it regardless of what you're doing, whether it's markers, paints, colouring, pastels, crayons. There's so many mediums that you can use. It's endless. But the overall feel is that people want to try pencils, and the pressure of the pencil does make a difference on lay down to how the end result will look. So, oh, one moment, Sammy. So what colours am I using again? That's fine. You're not a pest. Lavender is my first one, which is 934. Then Dahlia Purple in 1009. Hi, Di. And then Peacock Blue in 1027. What's the matter, Di? You're here. We've not missed anything. I'm so sorry about your dog's ears. Teresa. Okay, so there is no right and wrong, but the pressure of a pencil is a big indicator to how it will lay down. So say you started off with a heavy pressure and you're going to work your way down to medium and out to light. There's going to be a graduation, and that's how you're going to get a shade of one colour. So it's a shading. Blending is when you start to blend in other colours like this to the one that you've got sitting down on the paper. And that's why we say with a blend, we're blending that in. So we're blending a second colour in. So when I say about a shade, and this is just for the beginners, the shade is where you're shading out, and the shade will be the way that it will go down to a paper. The blend is when you start to put in other colours and blend that in. So that's the difference. And I get asked this quite a lot when beginners say, well, you know, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. It just says that, you know, when people say blending, shading, that's the difference. You have a blend and you have a shade. Then when you start introducing other colours in, then you can start to bring in a graduation of other colours, for instance, that might blend and shade into this one, and you'll get a difference. So that's just an introduction of a third colour, but it's a different colour altogether. So when we're going to do that on our pictures, a good way to kind of indicate whether these colours go well together is try it on paper. Does the top colour go with the bottom colour? If it does, go for it. If it doesn't, then you won't, you know? It's exactly the same. You're doing the Benny Blue. He is. Are you following Belinda's one by any chance? She did an amazing one. Try refreshing if there's any problems. It's okay on my screen. And don't forget to shout out at me if there's anything wrong on your screens or sound. Then I'll have to just open a new one up. Okay, so when we've got the lavender down, introduction of blending in another colour would be the Dahlia Purple. So we can start to with a heavier lay down into the tops. We can then just blend in a second colour and shade out. So you start to get another colour in. Then if you wanted to in that petal bring in a third colour, you've got Peacock Blue, which is PC1027. And this would just be another colour to add into these bright tropical flowers that we're going to have. So I'm only going to do it onto the edge and shade down one side. And then you can always go back to your lavender, which is your lightest colour, and you can blend those all together. So your Dahlia Purple is a good one to sort of mix in. And it just gives a graduated blend because they're going to be tropical flowers. Oh, bless him. I'm so sorry. See, we didn't hear this on our side. We've got nothing, you know. I can't have the sound on mine. So you can have some tropical flowers going on if you want to add some different mixes in. So I'm going to continue with that. So we've put the lavender down. Now we're going to go to our Dahlia Purple. Now you don't have to introduce the blue. You can do them just as purples. I'm going to do them with blues in there. You don't have to do the whole petal. You can do a little amount. You can introduce onto the ends. But I think just being that we're in the tropics, well, our gnomes in the tropics, that we can introduce some other colours in. I want some tropical flowers. And I've seen this done quite a lot with purple and blues. They work really well together. They're a nice contrast, you know, between the two. But you can stick with one shade of purple. You don't have to do the blues, you know. It's totally up to you. Flowers come in all different colours, all different blends, all different shades. So just look at the tropical flowers that you've got out there and you can kind of go with that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my Peacock Blue and I'm just going to, that's all I'm going to do between them. So I might not bring too much in this side and I might just only do it on the ends. So we're going, I'm just kind of going to play it by eye on how I want to introduce that blue into these purples. But I bought some, a couple of years back when I could do the gardening, I bought some pansies and they had shades of blue, violets and a yellow in the middle. And that's what I've based this flower on. It had some other colours in there as well. It was really, really pretty. With florals, there's no really going wrong. You can kind of put the colours that you want together and see how they end up turning out. So you can do some tropical, some tropical flowers. And I'm going to get my lavender and just introduce that back on the ends to that and blend those colours in together. And it's just, that's all I'm going to do with these. I'm not going to do anything too special and out there. It's just going to be some tropical flowers. And that is how I'm going to sort of play those ones. So we'll do those and I'll point out which ones I want those to be. And then we can maybe start our Halloween picture because we've got that on Tuesday. And I've just dropped a pencil on the floor. I don't know where it is. Thanks, guys. I mean, it's just kind of going with what, you know, it will go in with a picture, really. I've dropped a pencil on the floor. I can't see where I've dropped it. Sorry, everyone. Oh, I found it. Because that's the one I'm using. That's the one I'm using. Oh, sorry, everyone. I'm going to just knock the camera for a second because I've just got to adjust. There we go. So it's just going to be one of those that I'm going to sort of play with. So with these, I'm going to do like a yellow with an orange. So I might go for a light yellow. If I go for 1 minute. So we'll get our paper. This is sand. That might be our lightest. This is Spanish orange, which is a little bit of a graduation. But then we need yeah, no, I dropped it by my foot. It could have been there very soon. Let's have a look at this one. What's that? That one is yellow orange, but I want a different graduation in there. No, not that one. So it's just finding what's right at the time. I might put a bit of red in that actually. So that's Scarlet Lake. So before I do any more of those, I'm thinking like these ones over here. So I'm going to bring this over. You've got these. What image you were doing for Tuesday? You can find that on Etsy. If you go to Grazia Salvo. Sorry about the connection problems today, everyone. I hope it's okay on your ends. So Kimberly, Grazia Salvo. Oh, Salvo, sorry. Go to her Etsy and she will have that on there. So we'll keep that there. Then I'm going to graduate these all different colours. So I'm going to now go for sand, which is PC 940. I want these tropical and they will end up looking uniformed after. So just get the sand down as our base. And then we'll graduate other colours in. I need to get my piece of paper. That's it. Because I'll come off the edge there. And this is just the lightest colour down. Then I'm going to grab my, my Spanish orange. And I'm not going to go all the way up. I'm going to graduate that up. So I'm just not in chat for a second. But you can do them any colours really that you want. We'll have some pinks in there as well. So just graduate that up a bit. Yeah, I think it's YouTube at the moment. I really do. Then I'm going to grab my yellowed orange, which is a tad darker, and you want to put a bit more pressure down with that. The thing is with YouTube, you know, when there's connection stuff, we haven't got bad weather here. We just got it colder. So it could be that, or it could be just connection problems overall. Don't forget the weekends is a lot busier online than the weekdays. So people are at home, people are using it more. It's a lot busier, the server, isn't it? So it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder. Then around the edging, I'm going to grab back my Spanish orange. And I'm just going to put it around the edge before I blend in with any jasmine. Just around the edges. Bring back to my sand, sand. Jasmine and sand are very close in look. They look very similar. And then I'm going to get a red in there as well. Then the red will be Scarlet Lake 923. And I'm not going to bring too much of that in, just a tad. It's literally just going up like the side slightly. So this is more or less just going with the flow on flowers. They can be any. You can mix your colours about, but flowers in the tropics are nice and bright. And it just gives a little brightness going on. Hi, Loretta. Sammy, curious what weight? I use 160 GSM, and that's just my overall what I use. But you can use any, I'd say, up to that point, and then it's kind of temperamental. I'm just grabbing my sand again and just blending that in. It can get temperamental if you go too heavy with your home printers. You can go to a printing shop and you can get them done, but you've got to be wary about that, because you've got to be also asking them whether the paper is matte or not, you know, smooth. You've got to kind of just play it by ear with that. Oh, you're getting the whole lines. Congratulations. I'm getting that Scarlet Lake into the middle and just blending that out. And then I'm going to grab my brown, my dark. Do I want my dark brown? Yep. I'm just going to grab my dark brown over that. Just slightly. Okay, so they're kind of what I'm thinking. The edge one, you can see those two edge, they're going to be the same. And then these, I'm going to mix between that colour, and I want a nice pink. So I'm probably going to go for Deco Pink as my base, for sure. And then I'm going to go for Pink 929. And then I think I might bring in some Mahogany Reds as my darkest. Okay, let's make sure that's sharp. So, congratulations. It will be a perfect excuse, won't it, to just be indoors now that the weather's getting a little bit colder, and colour till your heart's content. Hi, Christine. That's okay. You lurk away. Yeah, I do that. I must admit, I do pester Andrew. Okay, so I'm going to do a few of these in those colours, but I'm also going to mix in a few pinks. So if I go for here, I'll do the ones that I'm going to do in pink. So I'm going to do Deco Pink base all over. We could have done this with a base of markers or a base of watercolours, but to be honest, I quite like the idea of just doing something with pencils again, especially after yesterday. So those of you who follow me on Instagram, you would know my Serene was kaput. However, I did manage to save my completed pages, so I'm so happy about that. But I had one work in progress in there, and I thought, I'm just going to chuck everything at this. I'm going to chuck it because I've got a second copy on the way. So, sidetracking a second from my Deco Pink, I decided to chuck everything at this. Then someone said to me, she's got a broken nose. I'm like, oh my God, she has got a broken nose. But don't worry about that. So I decided to honestly just chuck everything at this. And I've used some Spectrum Noir markers and done some blends, and I've chucked ink, I've chucked stencils, you know. I thought, you know what, I'm not even bothered. Let me just go for it. I'm really not bothered. I got a second copy. So forget her broken nose, that was pointed out to me. I chucked it. I hated the background. I'm like, why couldn't I have just done this without? So that was what I finished yesterday. But I've got a second copy. You know, when I get the second copy, I'm going to do it in black and white because I quite like the idea of it being in black and white. So thanks, everyone. Honestly, I just chucked everything at it, and I was like, what will be on it. If it goes kaput, it goes kaput. I'm not, you know, I'm not bothered. Yes, thank you. So I ended up liking and then hating. There we go. Okay, so Pink 929. Again, I'm going to mix between this and my darkest colour, and this will be the mahogany. So, yeah, that's what happened. So I thought, what the hell, you know, the pages are all wrinkly. And I don't know if this is a good little tip and a good little learning curve. If your Serene gets a lot of water on it, the texture of your paper will change. Oh, thank you. The texture will change. So it will be bumpy. It will be harder to colour on, and it will soak like a sponge if you get a lot of water on it. So unless you're doing minimal water, I would strongly suggest that you do not put watercolours on your serene. If you do, just be wary about the amount of water that you're putting on it. Hiya! Take care, Debbie. Okay, so now I'm getting mahogany red 1029, and this will be on, I think I'll do this from the edge down. Yeah, so I strongly recommend that you don't. And I think Dee Dee also experimented with watercolour on Serene, and it soaked it up like a sponge. So maybe the paper is just really not suitable for watercolour. And I know that our colour books aren't necessarily suited for it, but some of them, you know, we do throw everything but the kitchen sink at it, don't we? We're just like, yeah, let's just have it. Let's have fun with it. But honestly, guys, I would not recommend that Serene goes near water. Just a learning curve for me. And I've Cindy Kink over on YouTube. She had problems with hers coming apart. So you have to treat that like gold. You really do. Neo's worked, but there's still a buckle. Okay, I'm just getting my pink again into that, and then we'll use our Deco Pink to blend. Yeah, no, the Neo's worked with minimal water. Okay, back to my Deco Pink to blend. So some watercolors are not going to work. I wouldn't say that watercolor from a palette would work. Neo's direct work, but if you were to do that on like a board, I don't think that would work. And I can do it on one of my pages that's ruined, and we can do a tester. But you know, like when you mix it on a board, I don't think that would work, guys. I really don't. I was so distraught. But I'm okay now because I'll show you my completed pages from it. It's saved. I saved them. So everyone was laughing. Hiya, Dev. Everyone was laughing at me and saying, oh, you know, don't burn it. You're going to iron it. And I'm like, I know. And I wasn't having a very good time with it. But all is not lost. I will show you after. Okay, so I think those kinds of colours are going to work really, really well. Linda, no, $70 in Australia. Oh my. Hi, Grace. I didn't see you there. Oh my. That is ridiculous money. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a few of these in back to my blues and lavenders. Let me just mix that at the end. This is my lavender again. Wow, Linda, that Australian. Right, is anyone else in Australia? Do you have to pay the most ridiculous shipping fees in the world or what? Yeah, it's madness. You know, things need to be accessible. Wow. Take care, Wendy. So I think we're going to do a mixture of those tropical colours down. Wow, exactly. Wow. I think I would have to sell my left arm. Wow. Linda, I don't envy you. I really don't. Back to lavender 934. So we do trail off. Sorry, this is a live chat with everybody, so there is a lot. So you need to follow the chat back. Because otherwise it's not going to make sense what I babble on about at all. So I'm just putting my lavender down. And again, I'm just going with a very light pressure on the first one. The first coat is always the lightest. So I am very impressed though, guys, just sidetrack again with the new Joanna Basford book. I had a good look for it yesterday. And I must say, it is absolutely stunning. Stunning. And I don't like colouring too many flowers and leaves because I get very bored very quickly doing the same repetitive pattern. However, I'll give some exception to that. Thanks, Dev. How you been? And Robin, are you still here? Robin's did you put that up on your channel, Robin? The Momo Gal tutorial book. Oh, yeah, I did. I listened to a podcast, Susie. Yeah, I did. Okay, Dahlia Purple 1009. Yeah, I did. It reminded her of her grandma, didn't it? Joanna Basford. That's what I mean. There's a Joanna Basford podcast by Passionista Colorista. If you don't know about her podcast, I highly recommend you go listen. They are wonderful to listen to whilst you're sitting there colouring. So if you haven't already gone over, go to her Instagram, Passionista Colorista, without the U. Yeah, you did put it on the channel. Thank you. Hiya, Autumn Fox. Oh, Janet, is it really? It sounds a lot. See, $70 in America would be how much in pounds? About £62 English pounds. So I'm referring it as that, but obviously it's not. You got the second copy. Anyone? Hi, Sarah. That's okay. You lurk away. Yeah, no, I know with Australia though, I mean, I've sent a couple of things to Linda because she couldn't get them shipped to her unless it was shipped to someone via them as a gift type thing. You know what, some countries, they won't allow shipping from certain shops, etc. So unless you get it shipped to someone and then that person ships it to you in a country, it's the only way to do it. And those were extortionate prices. There's just extortionate. I know. It's crazy. Yeah, go ahead, Dev. Share away. I prefer the US one, Melody. The US cover. Have you seen the US cover? It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to grab back my peacock blue and I'm going to go to the corners again. So I'm going to do these quite tropical. Now, this I'm not doing a heavy lay down. Anyone that does this, if you want to add the blue, if you don't want to add the blue, then, you know, leave it out. If you want to add the blue, don't do a heavy lay down. Yeah, we've got a couple of colour alongs going on. So if you go over to Shalene's channel, the Colouring Book Nook, she on Friday tells you all about the new colour alongs over on Facebook, over on Instagram, and on YouTube. So she will also hold this information. So if you hold any events over on Instagram, Facebook, in groups, anything, if you inform Shalene, she will add them to your list and she will read them out every Friday. No, she's got Lisa there, hasn't she? She's having a nice time. Lavender 934. She's having a nice time, Grace, with Lisa. So I don't blame her. I wouldn't be around either. If I was having great fun with friends, I'd be postponing. So those that have got any colour alongs going on, any events going on in the month of November, share away so that we can join in for those that can. Okay, so I've blended in with lavender. So that's more or less what they're going to be. Oh, perfect timing. Okay, so I think what I'll do is say I'm going to do the base of the ones that I want to do in the purples. So instead of doing repetitive, so we can move on to the Halloween after we've done the water. We'll do the water. So I'll do the bases of what ones we're going to do in the purples instead of being repetitive. And then we've got to do the leaves. So we'll do this one in purple. We'll do this one in purple. So let me just do what we're going to do in the purples and the pinks. That on the end is going to be the yellow. So this is lavender, and I'll repeat the names because there's no point in us doing lots and lots and lots. So we'll do this one here as well in purple. Okay, so if I just very, very quickly jot that all down, then we can move on to the fun stuff instead of repeating flowers constantly of the same colours. So if we do that, then we can do fun. So this one's going to be purple. And then I'll do all these up here as purple. So there's one behind the little tiki mask here. Oh, hold on. Hold on, guys. So I'm just putting down the lavender, literally just putting down the lavender on the ones that I want. And then I think we do that one as pink. So if I put the deco pink down on the pink ones, so it's going to be exactly the same as what we've done, but just I'm putting down the bases so you know which ones I'm doing in the pinks and which ones I'm doing in the blues. Otherwise we're going to be here all day, and I actually really want to get on to doing the fun stuff with you all. So we'll do this one and put the bases down for each. Can you see that well enough, what we're going to be doing in purples and pinks, so that we really do have, you know, a nice selection of things to do rather than doing repeating of flowers, because we've got loads to cover. We've got loads to cover, and I really want to get on to doing, especially like the skull, at least start the skull on our Halloween one. So if you have got the picture from Grazia Salvo, then fabulous. If not, and you would like to purchase it, it's over on her Etsy store. So I'm just going with the deco pink, everyone, with just what I'm going to be putting the pinks down on. So it'll be like this, but you know, I'm just putting the bases down so you can see. Okay, I think we'll do that one as well. I'm not in chat for a second because I'm just trying to show you which ones is which. And then that one on the end is the same yellows and orange as what we did on the other end. So we're just getting that down to where we need them. And then we will move on and try and do the skull. Okay, so in the rest, I think I'd only want a few pinks. So we might do the bottom one here as well as deco pink. And the rest will be purples. And then we've got to do these leaves. Okay, so I'll do that one as a deco pink. And then I'll be back in chat with you. Hold on. So is that nice and clear which ones are pinks and which ones are purple? Oh, bless you. Kathy, hold on, guys. Sorry, I'm like right in the camera. You're probably going to see my head in a minute, which that's fine. You can see my head. You see me. It will be this one that we're going to be doing on toned tan. I'm doing it, but you can do it in the white. But I'll be doing it on the toned tan. And this is what we're going to get a start on. So I'm trying to get this done so that we can get onto that as well. Okay, so the rest will be in the purples. And yes, it's absolutely fine, Christine, to mention that. Okay, so lavender will be as our base. As I said, I'm just going to plan out which ones are going to be what. So the rest will be the lavender. So is that clear to what? Oops. Is that clear to which one? So all of the other flowers are going to be in these colours, the lavender and blues. And then the ones that I've put the deco pink on is going to be the pinks. Then with regards to the leaves, we can grab kelp green, Kelly green. Let's try those. So these big flower, they've got the flowers and you've got these big leaves going on here. So this one is Kelly green 1096 Kelly green. So I'm going to go from the inner part of the leaf outer. So just, you can go from there and then individually just fade out the colour. This is how you just start the leaf off. And then you build on that after. So you're planning out where you want those colours to go. And then the next colour, which is our darker one, is Kelp. Desiree will know all about these. 1090. And they will be a little bit heavier pressure coming down. But I'm going in a straight line rather than, so you can still see the other greens in there. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning, the Clara one, isn't it? I watched a flip through over on Amanda's channel. So if you have ordered and you're waiting on the Fairy Miracles, if you go over to Amanda's channel, she has got a flip through. If I can't remember the link of her channel, but she's on here. And it's a man jar. So she's always in the community, guys. And she did a flip through of it, and it's beautiful. It's got a lot in it. So it's based on a fairy world, and you've got lots of little things, little houses, little fairies, little dragons, you name it. Okay, so I'm going to put in, you're going to think, what's she doing? Terracotta 944, and I'm going to put that down the middle and ever so slightly before I put any extras on the ends. It gives like a slight colour to those leaves. And then we can grab a lighter green, which will be, where is that gone? Where's that gone? Let me have a look. Okay, found it. Our lime peel will go in the corners only. So the terracotta just goes on the lines, not all the way. And the lime peel goes in the corner. And you'll see, I'm just grabbing back my kelp just to go over. And it just gives a difference. But the terracotta, if you really wanted to, you could mix in to one side slightly. Because if you look at the changes of the leaves, sometimes they've got some browns in there. And this is with light pressure. So it just gives an extra little something to the leaves that's a bit different to art. So it's a laydown of the Kelly green 1096, kelp green 1090, lime peel on the ends to get rid of the white only in 1005, and the terracotta goes down the leaves. So I'll show you one more time. So you're going to get your Kelly green 1096, and that goes on each individual section. You can fade that out, and don't forget, you're not going to have those white areas whatsoever. So you can just, don't worry about any white space. Your lime peel will take care of that. So your white spaces will not be there, and that's where your lime peel will be added. And we'll do the water, which we're going to use, I think we have to use Neos for those. And with water, you can do a mixture of blues and like turquoises. And then I'll be in chat, because I've abandoned chat because I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing. Because I really do want to get onto the skull on our Halloween, if we can get started on that. Okay, so that's that one. Then we're going to grab onto the kelp green 1090, and that will be at our tops, and you can press down firmer on that part so that it shows through. You want to kind of show those colours. So you can do the underneath for that one. And you will see these colours come through as you go down. And that's the good thing with them, is they do mix really well together. And then once you mix them, they will all sort of shine through on their own. It just takes a little bit of work, especially on the ends. And then, as I said, with the ends, your lime peel will sort the white bits out. So just put them into the white areas. Don't worry about the white spaces, because you're going to get rid of those right now. And the lime peel is the lightest green in terms of on a leaf that I really like to use. And then if you grab your terracotta, as I said, you go down the middle ever so slightly on one side of the line. Then you can slightly bring that also on those lines there. And if you want to bring a little bit more of that colour so that it's a little bit more authentic, just bring a tad of that terracotta in. And it just matches the rest of them. So they will all go together. So if we stick with those on the big leaves, on the little leaves, you've also got these little ones, kelp green, dark at the bottom, lighter on the top, heavier pressure, fading out on the smaller leaves. And then you can also bring in your lime peel to the very ends. So lime peel and kelp. And that will sort out just those little tiny ones. And then with the dark brown, just a tad along your line. And that will kind of just blend into those others when they're all done. So if I recap, the purple flowers are lavender PC934, dahlia purple PC1009, and peacock blue PC1027. The flower here that we were doing, this end one here, is, oh, here we go. Sand, I have to turn around. Sand PC940, yellowed orange PC1002, Spanish orange PC1003, and Scarlet Lake 923. Scarlet Lake is just going up the ends. Hiya, Dash. And then on those pinkish flowers that we've got, it is Deco Pink 1014, Rose 929, and Mahogany Red 1029. And then our greens for our leaves, one more lot, guys, are, hold on, kelp green 1090, lime peel 1005, and Kelly green 1096. Then a terracotta, what we've used to go down the lines, and they will all come together. And that is quite a lot of colours. So we can probably do a bit more on those, but I want to get to the water. So I'm going to do the water whilst we're here, and maybe we can get on to some other things. So I'm going to now grab our neos. So we've got our neos and we've got a board. Hit with a spanner. Well, Dash, I wish it better. That's, yeah. I mean, these things, you know, you don't think they're going to happen, and they do. Okay, so I'm just checking that we've got any other colours. Okay, so I'm going to grab our board. I think we'll put some colours down on the board and mix. So I'm going to go for light blue on our board. This is our Caran d'Ache board. I need like a turquoisey colour, so I'm going to go for turquoise green. I'm also going to grab a little bit of a different blue, Colbert blue. These are amazing boards for those of you that not used them. Prussian blue is going to be darkest areas, and we can mix in as well. So we can also put a bit of jade green in there if we need any green tinge. And I think that will be okay. So we've got our board ready. So we don't need much more than that. These are highly pigmented. Yeah, it does. So I'm going to get some water in my brush. I'm just going to refill my brush, so just bear with me. Grab a cloth if you've got one handy, and you fill your water brush. I use a zig detailer, so this is a Kuretake zig. And I will come along a little bit. So I'm going to put it in the screen so you can see what I'm doing. So as long as it's all in the screen so you can see, I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Because we can always do that, the leaves and the stuff, you know, the other things in our spare time, because otherwise we're going to end up just doing flowers for a whole stream. As long as it can see it from your side. Okay. So you can mix on this board. So yeah, it does fit in the tin. Yeah, it does. Okay. So our lightest blue here, we can get going. So you can pick up off the board instead of putting it directly, because you can mix. So we're going to get our light blue down to start with. So you can mix that down. Now this paper is pretty thick, so it will take our water medium fine. So you can get it started. We're just going to go all over before we start mixing and layering. The good thing with this is I want it to be quite a light blue, see, but you can graduate it down. My brush isn't particularly wet. It's wet but not saturated. And that's the good thing with these boards, is that you don't need a huge amount to pick the water, you know, you don't have to put a large amount of water on to get the colours going. So you're going to just get it started, and you'll start dipping your other blues in and mixing. So get your first round going. We might need to add a little bit more, which is fine, but the other colours we won't need a huge amount. So I'm going to go back to my light blue. So you can just keep pulling it off the board. Dash, I'm using the Neos, the Neo 2s on this one. They're like this water-soluble crowns. The difference as well, guys, if you weren't aware, is the Neo 1s are not water-soluble. The Neo 2s are. So some people have bought the metallic Neo 1s and they're saying, oh my God, I can't put the water to them. They don't move. They are not water-soluble. They're different altogether. So just get the water going on it and start your C off. Let that dry slightly before we put any extra colour in. So just put your first base of colour down. The good thing with these is you can start mixing other colours in. And if your ink tents, you could do this with ink tents, but the thing is with ink tents, once the colour dries, you cannot move that colour for dust. It won't do it. Whereas if you do it with a water crown or a water-soluble pen or water-soluble pencils or Neos, whatever your watercolours are, they will move. You can mix. So get your first coat down, and then we can start adding and layering and putting other colours in and dropping it in. And when you drop in, you're going to use, hi Becca, your wiping technique. So you can, the good thing with this board is you can keep adding. Just keep going, keep adding your colours. So this is the light blue, and it's just get it going, get it on there. I mix all the time with these, and I get them down on the paper, and then we start adding on. So don't be afraid to use the water medium stuff, because it is a learning curve and you do need to get confident with them. And for me, I'm pretty confident in using them. I'm not too fussed about, you know, in the end, it will work out. Just think of it that way. Your first coating down isn't your final coat, if that makes sense. So it's not an overly wet brush. And I'm literally just putting the pigment down on paper before we start adding in our other colours. And we're going to start mixing and blending in a minute. So get your first coat down. Your first coat is the light blue. So don't worry too much about how it looks for now. It's all going to change. It will change in a minute. So I'm just getting the pigment down on paper. Now, as well, you can do this with your soup. If you've got Supra colours, you'll put that direct to paper. I love those pencils so much. The Supra colours are amazing, but I also like to mix on a board, and you can do that with Supras, which we have done on strings previously. You've also got this little bit up here, and that will be darker. So you've got to get right in there. Don't worry about this paper as well. This paper is very, very, very tough. This paper's not buckling at all with this. So be wary and be careful of your flowers and your work that you've already got down, because you would have done all your colouring prior to this, and we're just going to mix it up. So we just get the pigment down, and then we will mix and start blending in. Okay, so now we're going to go from our corner. Oh, we've got some here as well. So now I'm going to guess that that's C. Okay, so now we've got that blue down. You know, oh my God, what's going on? Right, so now I'm going to start mixing a bit. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of a different pigment here. And the good thing with these boards is you can mix as much as you want and bring in other colours. So bring in some turquoise and some dark blues. That's the Prussian blue, and that's the turquoise green. And you're going to start to bring in different colours. Cobalt blue, green turquoise, and you're going to start to mix. Now you can start to put some other colours on. So wipe off in between and drag those colours to blend into your light blues. So don't forget, you're going to bring some of the green, jade green, in, and you're going to start to change. Oh, Dash, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. You're going to start to bring other colours in. Don't have a saturated brush, and this is why you're going to keep wiping off. This is just how I use. People wonder how I use them. This is how I kind of go about it. So wipe off some pigment and blend. And as you go along and blend, you're going to blend into that light blue. So have your light blue at the top as well. Then again, you can drag some other colour in. So this is the cobalt blue. And then blend that in. But don't forget, my brush is not overly wet. If you do this with an overly wet brush, you're going to end up making that peel. So that's the Prussian blue as well. And every time I drag that down, this is just how I use them. Everyone's got a different technique, and there's no wrong. But if you see, there's going to slightly, when that dries, you're going to have a slight difference in that. So bring in some more Prussian blue in. You need a bit more water than what I've got, because I haven't got much water on my brush at all. Okay, so same with regards to up here. I'm just going to bring some in at the top and dab. And you'll start to see a difference in what you're doing. So I'm going to bring some more of that darker blue underneath. I'm not in chat for a second, everyone, because I've got to do this, otherwise it's going to end up drying. So you're going to drag that pigment down. And as you're dragging down, it blends into your light blue. And you start to get a difference. Oh. Yeah. I don't want to go with too much water after my serene incident. You're right. Okay, so like underneath here will be darkest. So again, I've put some Prussian blue down, dab off, drag that pigment down and blend it into my other colours. And everyone works differently with water medium, and you'll start to see a difference where it comes together, but you've got to wait for it to start to dry a little bit. Hiya, Ashley. Then if you wanted to bring a tad of the jade green in, you can add these colours in as you go along. And all that is just mixing, and as it dries, you'll see the difference. You'll see a huge difference. So if I get my Prussian blue in the corner again, that will be a darker area because it's underneath this plank. And I just mix up. And as I said, this isn't like how everyone will use them. That's fine. You know, this is just how I've kind of gone with the water. And I've kind of just picking off colours as I go along. So you're dropping in different colours. Water has got, if you look at certain distances, they've got different colours in them. And the good thing is with this paper, it's hardly buckling. It's hardly buckling. So again, I'm going to bring my palette, get my darker blue down. Bring some different one in there. You just mix it, guys. Don't be scared of it. You can always wait for it to dry a bit and then go in again. And the thing is, where I've not got such a wet brush, I'm not doing a wet on wet technique. I'm just kind of going very quickly with the brush so that it doesn't dry in streaks. And I'm just introducing other colours in as I go. So you can wipe off as you go along. If you get a microfiber cloth, it's brilliant. And you can kind of just dab off as you go along. And it also keeps your brush at a certain, you know, how I don't want this too wet. I want this still got water on it, of course, but I don't want it ridiculously wet. And as it dries, you can add more. You can just do what you want with this. So again, I'm going with Prussian blue, and I'm just playing around here with how I want it to look. I've got a hair, I've got dog hair there. Chip, that's your fault. So just play around with your technique and play around with how you want them to look on paper. Bringing in some turquoises, and you can mix that into your light blue. But be very wary about the wetness of your paper. You might want to wait. If you've overwet your paper, wait for it to dry in between. And this is just how I'm going and doing it. See, if you now go in any more on that, you're going to end up overwetting your paper on this section here, and you're going to end up tearing it. So it will go through if you do that too much. So you've got to wait. And the good thing is if you put something behind, you're fine. But don't overwet the paper. So wait for that section to dry. Then I'm going to go in with my Prussian blue here. And I'm wiping off on each application. And then I'm going to drag some of that over here as well. Put your paper behind to protect. Wipe off and drag. Just drag that colour down. And then wait. Wait for that to dry. Oh, thank you, Kenneth. Oh, this part. Yeah, I wasn't sure, Desiree. So I left that as water. That was the mountain, but then here I should have done as water. But I should have put a line in it like it's behind. But I can always do that after. That's fine. So I'm kind of just going to wait for that to dry a bit. That is particularly wet. I can grab my... The thing is I have to get up to get all my tools. So I'm just going to also drag in a little bit more dark. A little bit darker here. So it's a bit wet on that section. And just play around with the water. Wipe off and drag down. So it's just knowing what you want it to look like. Yeah, it's got waterlogged here. I'm just playing around at the moment, and when it's dry you can always go in with more, but there's no right and wrong, you know. This isn't like Bible that you've got to follow. There's no right and wrong with this. You can kind of just go with a flow on it. And watercolor has a certain look about it, doesn't it? It's got that look that just is so precious. I love the watercolor look. I'm grabbing some more of the turquoisey colors. I'm kind of just going to play with that. And the same with underneath. I need some more dark there. That's underneath to drag down. So I'm going to grab some more of the light blue there and blend that out. But don't forget, it does dry differently to what it looks like wet. So you kind of just mix in really on what you would like. So I'm going to drag some more of the Prussian blue and blend out. So kind of just like a mixture really of, you know, going with the sea. He's putting together face car. If anyone's wondering what Desiree, she bought this car and it looks like it's got a face on it. And I don't know if anyone's the same. I get names for things. So I called it the face car because it looks like it's got a face on it. Okay, so I'm just dragging some more of that dark down there. And obviously my darkest corner I want is the one over here because it's kind of in the corner of the picture. So that Prussian blue is going to be dragged, especially under. If I grab some more of that dark blue, I'm going to pull that in there. And underneath the plank here, I'll pull down some colour with that as well. So yeah, just play around with your colours, see what you like doing, see if you've got something you like to do and technique that you would like. Yeah. I've never used it, Jude. I must admit. You can, of course you can. Of course that would be, you know, much more of a protector for your page if you wanted to use gesso. I personally never use it. I'm fine with my color. If it's a single-sided one, then I'm good. I'm fine. Okay, I'm just dragging on some more of that. I want a little bit more of a turquoise. So I might bring in a bit of the jade green actually and mix that in. That's jade green. I'm just going to mix that with that blue that we had already there. I'm just going to dab that in a little bit. Yeah, I've never used it, and yeah, I know that people, you know, say you should, but I'm pretty cool without using it. I'm all right. I haven't felt the need yet, but if I had a double-sided book, I probably would. I haven't bought any yet because I didn't feel like I was going to use it, kind of thing. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit more turquoise. Thank you. As I said, it kind of just mixes with itself once it's on the paper. So see, that's drying now, so you can add a little bit more of the cobalt blue. I'm just kind of mixing in as I go along. And once that's dry, that will look slightly different to what it does now. Some yellow for the sun. Yeah, you could do a reflection on it. That could be on the top of the water. That might go green though. If I had tried Sahara yellow, let's just see. Let's just see. It might go green. Let me just try it. Could be like a little reflection, couldn't it? Let's just see what that looks like. Hold on. Let's just have a look, because we can always go over it if not. Kind of. That's it might go a little bit more. Can you see that? It kind of. Hi, Sue. Ah, he's putting your cart together, Sharon. You can kind of see it, but it might go a bit more green because it's against the blues. Blue and green will go. yellow and blue will just go green, won't it? You can kind of get it on the top. So that's kind of drying. And if you want to, after with this, which I'm going to when it's dry, underneath here, just darken it up with a indigo or something along those lines. If I mix that in, hold on. You can go a bit darker underneath the plank and bring that colour and blend it down. That's pretty wet doing that. So you can wait for it. Don't forget as well, you can flatten this out after. So it kind of just goes with the mixture of the colours for me. And then adding in a bit more turquoise. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of the turquoise green in. But it will look different dry. So don't forget it's got to dry. And then you'll really see the colours come together. That's kind of just how I keep with water, really. It is tropical. And then you can add some finishing touches, which we might have to do when it's all put together. On Tuesday, we'll spend the first 20 minutes just finishing up the touches. So we would have done all this, how I've showed at the beginning. And then we can put all the finishing touches with the Poscas and all of that, and the middles. We could do that at the beginning for the first 20 minutes. So that will need to dry. And I'm kind of, thank you, Mary. Hi, Mary. So it kind of just has to dry a little bit. But it's very tropical. I'm kind of like jealous of this gnome. I'm kind of jealous of her now. So I'm going to push that aside for now and leave that to dry. I could go and get the little tool in a minute, but I think I want to do these because we've done these on camera. So we'll do them off camera if you're doing this along with me. With the water, once that's dry, we can add our finishing touches. But I think for now, it's pretty wet, the paper. So we'll leave that to be. So if we finish up the bottom here, which will be very, very tropical, we'll spend the first 20 minutes on Tuesday finishing up with some touches, or I could even do that as a little extra rather than, you know, using it on stream. We'll probably do that as an upload. That's the word I was looking for. I'm just grabbing up, got a fiddle a minute. Hold on, I'm getting some Colbert green. And now we can try and see what we want to do with our Halloween one. Okay, so you took those turquoises on in there and they come up really, really well. And that will show when it's dry, you'll see the turquoises coming through as well. So we can put all the finishing touches next time. Yeah, it's tropical. I think we'll put some... Yeah, that's what I was going to do. So I'm going to put some Posca at the end. Obviously, when I do the finishing touches, we'll put some Posca on, which I usually do with water anyway. These would have been finished, and we can finish her up. We can finish this up and do a tropical scene. So we're going to stop on that one for now until the rest is completed. And we're going to talk about our Halloween one, which will be on Tone Tan. If you want to follow along, you're going to have an easier time on this one. So I'm just going to move all this out the way for now, guys. Just bear with me. This is what we're going to be doing. So I'm just going to put these out the way. And then get us some room. So I need these pencils out because that's what I'm using. And our gnomes, and we're just going to see what we can do with that. So bear with me. Okay, so this will be our Halloween string, everyone. So I'm back now. Neo 2s, the water was with. I'm going to zoom on out. And I'll show you So that is very bright and tropical looking from this side. Hi everyone that's coming on in. Okay, so I can spend a couple of minutes where I can actually talk to you as well. Okay, so on Tuesday, it's Halloween on Wednesday. And on Tuesday is my usual stream day. So I can't do on Wednesday. There's other streamers, you've got Dee Dee as well on a Wednesday. She's going to do abandoned pumpkins, I think, collage pumpkins. So I have printed off, this is from Grazia Salvo's Etsy store. And this is a image that she newly released for Halloween. I'm guessing it's going to be like a Halloween type of picture because it's got the skull. And yet we've got the snake and we've got roses and stuff. You can print it off on white paper, but I will be using this on toned. And you approach toned papers slightly differently as you approach white paper to print on. Now, if you're wondering what paper this is a 160-gram cardstock that I buy on Amazon. This is a toned tan Strathmore pad that you have to okay, Desiree, you have to slightly chop to get to the same size. And the way I chop this is I use a piece of A4 against it. It's ever so slightly longer, and it was also ever so slightly wider, but you cut it to size. You can use a paper cutter or a pair of scissors if you've got a steady hand. I'm going to be using the toned tan because the toned tan you have to approach slightly differently with colours. Now, most pencils go really well on toned tan. However, I do say that the wax-based pencils seem to work better because there's a texture, and toned paper is slightly toothy because it's a proper Strathmore paper. So it's for artists. It's made for artists to do sketches on. So we will be doing this one from Grazia Salvo, and this one is available now on her Etsy store if you wanted to come and join over on this one. I will be using a mixture of Prismas and Luminance pencils, and the Luminance white and buff titanium is very vivid and pops off of this paper. Just a little, little thing from using it and experience of using it now. So I have got my Luminance in front of me and my Prismas in front of me, and we're going to start off with I think we'll start off with this little skull here. So if I zoom you on in, we're going to also just get started with this, and this will be our Halloween stream on Tuesday. So with the skull, I think I'll use the Luminance white and buff titanium in there. So I will grab those. Mine are a little bit smaller now than the average, but that's fine because I've got a couple of backups. And I like to use a very slight off yellow, which will be our cream, a slight ochre colour, and we'll mix those in with a darker brown. Okay, so nice sharp pencils, and you'll see the difference when we put our white pencil down. This is Luminance white. I might have to bring you on down a little bit so you can see. So you're going to go for a ride for a second. There we go. Nice and clear on your screens for you. So with the skull, you can map out where you would like your highlights to go. So if I grab white and buff titanium, and the buff titanium is probably my, most favorite, and there is a slight difference in the the buff titanium and the white. This has got a slight yellowed tone to it, the buff titanium, and the white is clear white. Now with the white, I want to just plan out, and you'll see on this paper how clear white comes up. So I'm just going to first plan this out just to see where I want my highlights to go. So you'll see the difference. This is white on how this will come up. So we've got the teeth. So we're going to add in other colours here, and it's toothy. So can you see when you put white on this paper what it will be like? So go along with these cracks. You've got a slight pattern on this which we can put in with browns. That's fine. So this is the white for now. I'm just putting in where I want my highlights to go. So I want it on the other side of this skull. And we'll sort of map out where we want our shading to go. So white highlights will come after. I'm just kind of putting in where I would like the first round, because we're going to also put in our cream and buff titanium and our ochre colour. So we're going to kind of go over this bit here. So you will see the difference in using white against toned tan. Hi, anyone that's joining in. And let me show you now with the buff titanium. That's got a slight toned texture to it. So it's like a yellowed, and it comes in, it's very similar. So we're going to mix in now. We're going to start our colours off and see what we can do. Right, bear with me, everyone. I will tell you which ones I'm using. Right, so I have picked out white, buff titanium, sepia, brown ochre, and Naples ochre. So I'm going to grab my Naples ochre, which is a slight yellowed colour. If you can hear snorting, that's Chip. He's got excited. Okay, so we're going to start putting our colours in. This is Naples ochre in luminance, which is 821. If that, you can hear Chip, he sounds like a little piglet. He gets overly excited and he does this snorting. So we're starting to put that colour in to start with. Now your first round is just going to be a slight, we're going to do the skull and see how we get on. So this is just going to be a very slight start. So we've got that as our highlight at the side, which I'm going to go around that on where I've put that down, and the same with the opposite side of where I've put that white. Yeah, he's playing with him. So I'm just putting that down to start with. And you've got some patterns on there, which I don't want to lose. So very lightly to start and build your layers up. So let's just get that first colour down. Toned paper is a different ball game altogether, and it takes more work and more build up. Much more build up. So we'll put that back in with some ochre colours, not until. So you've got a slight, you can see there's a slight grayscale to this, which you want to keep. So if you go round that, then bring another colour in. If you bear with me, everyone, just 2 seconds. What am I using? No, I'm not using a straw. This is a mixing. Wash my hands, drying properly now. Okay. Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right, sorry everyone. I was just helping Andrew for 2 seconds. Okay. Hi, anyone that's come in. Sorry about that. What have I missed? Okay. Remember, if there's anything for me in particular, put it in caps so I can see. Right. So I've got the base down. Sorry about that. Hold on. There we go. Got the base down of the Naples yellow, and I'm going to go back to that and blend in after. Then we've got our brown ochre 50%. And I want this to be slightly yellowed around the edge, but we're going to keep that highlight of white. So I've put the white down of where I want that to go, so I can still see that. Now we're going to start adding in other colours. That's gone white, washed out. Hold on. I'm going to have to change the setting for a second, otherwise you'll be washed out. Can you see those colours or not, or is it too washed? I might have to put a black back in. Yeah, he's okay. I just had to help him with his cream. He's all right. Right, hold on, guys. I don't know why that's not... Let me just play with the light in a second. I want you to be able to see the colours. Hold on, if I put the E... Can you see it at that side? You might be able to see. Hold on, everyone. I'm going to have to get the easel. Hold on. Let me see if this works any better, because I want you to be able to see the colours and you can't seem to see them. It will still wash it out. No, it's closer, but it's going to wash. It's going to take some time. See you later, Martina. Okay, let's just try it. Let's see how we get on. So I'm still with my brown ochre 50%. And we'll see if we can get this. It's light at the moment. It's going to wash out for a second. So this is going to be, you can hear that on the easel. So I'm keeping that highlight around the edge. I'm going to just bring that brown in. I'm going to try and get these colours built up. Don't forget, this is our first layering. It's not how it is. Can you see it now? As long as you can see the colours, because I want to show you the build up. Sharon, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I get there. I get through. How you been? So I'm just starting to build this up a little bit. Well, don't forget, with the tone tan, I mean, it's a different approach altogether. So I'm just getting these colours where I would like them and to fade them into the other ones. And you can buy this as a 9 by 12. You want that size, not the size smaller, the 9 by 12. No, honestly, I'm okay, Susie. I promise you. It's got a slight texture anyway, hasn't it? Okay, as long as you can see that. Yeah, so I'm just going to build up lightly, and we have got this pattern that I will reintroduce after. So I'm going on a light hand and we're going to build up. So it takes work, and that's the whole thing with a tone tan paper. My experience of working on it is that it takes work. So I'm going to go around that highlight there. And I'm just going to build on that. We'll see how this comes out in the end, but it takes a bit more work. And I do find that the wax pencils work better on it. Oh. That's well, thank you. Is the paper light grey in colour? No, that's a light grey. This is a toned tan. Then just with that, to blend that out on the edges, I'm now going to pick up my Naples ochre and just take out the pencil lines that we've just put in from that. And we're just going to alternate between the two. So I'll tell you which one I'm going for when I pick it up. So just blend that out on the edge. And the thing is, it takes more layers on a better paper than it would on like a smooth paper like a Create Space. That's a lot easier to work on because you would put a marker base, or you wouldn't have to work as hard on it, or you know, it all depends on what type of paper you've got. But these are a little bit heavier to do. So back to, I'm going to say the numbers, 836 luminance. So I'm going to put this as slightly beiged, and then we'll be bringing in a bit more of a darker one in a minute. And then we'll bring in our whites and our buff titanium as well. So I'm just sort of introducing that brown colour that I want in. See, and then if I get my buff titanium, you can alternate between them. But am I making? No.
I thought you said buff titanium or titanium. That's my name.
Buff titanium, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm buff.
Oh my god.
Titanium.
Oh god. I don't know where I found you. Okay, so this is the buff titanium, and I'm just sort of alternating between them. Here's the word like titanium white for some reason. When I don't say titanium white, I say buff titanium. Okay, so I'm just going to mix between them. It's just building up layers, and we're going to kind of get on that. Yeah, I know, Kimberly. I know this. I know this. Okay, back to 836, and we'll just kind of build up on that as well. And I'm just sort of zoning in on this for a second, so I'm a bit quieter just because I'm sort of building up, and I just want to see how to do this because I want this as more of a creamed. Let's see where folks colour the lines of line art. Yeah, you can go over this line art though, so that's just going to do. If I get my sepia, you can actually go over the lines of the skull and take out the black, which is what I'm going to do on not the whole thing. So I'm going to blend that into the rest of it because you want shadowed areas. So very lightly building on those layers. You don't want to sort of go in there full force ahead. The thing is with toothier papers, you have to sort of build on it. And it will look so different at the end. It is a case of just building up your sort of what you're doing, and it takes a bit more work on it. It kind of build, if you just keep building, it will change. Okay, so this is the sepia. He's going out soon, Andrew. He's got work. We'll just build on that and see what we can do. So between sepia, buff titanium, Naples yellow, oh no, Naples ochre and brown ochre, we're going to try and get the desired look. It's going to take some building up and some patience. So if you just bear with me, I will do it. But it takes a bit more layering up to get this done. Now with our Halloween stream, we're also going to be talking about Halloween things. That's on Tuesday. And for now, I just want to kind of get a head start on this and get the skull started at least, because otherwise we're going to be doing that for weeks and weeks because the paper does take a little bit longer to sort of work on. So sort of build on it as we go along. Find sort of plan where you want your shadows to go. This is these designs here, so we're going to, you can put these in with brown. If you can see those designs. but they're on there already and they're very faint. So we're going to put these in with this sepia. And then we'll use that as our guide. So just put those lines in. And then follow that pattern of what we've got. Can you see that? It kind of reintroduces it, so we'll have something going. That's okay, Kimberly. That's what I said. I'm sorry if I'm not as engaging today. I've just got to concentrate for a second so that I can guide you right. Otherwise, I'm going to be telling you wrong. Okay, so now is the Naples ochre. Has anyone seen any good films recently? I rewatched Halloween last night, the original, and I still want to go and see the newest one, the latest Halloween. So I'm just blending in those lines. So it's building up on light layers with this, guys. Just build up your layers. Oh. Is it good? Is it good? I'm waiting to see it. I'm waiting. I haven't been to the cinema yet because I just don't feel to sit down for too long there. It's not that I love the cinema, but I just don't like to sit for too long at a time before I have to keep getting up, and that's going to bug people that sit behind you in the cinema, isn't it? So we're just sort of dunning that down. And then you have to build up layers. So this is back to sepia. Start making it a little bit dirty. Dirty. I like to say dirty bones. It's not that, it's the shaded areas. But it just looks like you're introducing like a dirty bone. Okay, hold on. Sabrina, you started that. Oh, yeah, see, Sharon, that's what stops me from going. Geez, what's that one? Brown ochre. That's what stops me from going, sweetheart. That it's hard to sit for so long for me now, without having to like readjust or keep getting up. And you know what it's like when you're sitting watching a film and you got someone keep getting up like a yo-yo, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's going to bug people. And I know, you know, you have to do it, but the person behind you is going to be like, what is this woman doing? Sit down. But I have to really be stronger to go. Oh, it's trying. I don't know if you can see the colours as much, but it should start to show. It's hard to get the colour true on camera. It's really hard. So I'm just getting between brown ochre and Naples yellow at the moment. Or Naples ochre, I think it is. I'll tell you the numbers in a moment. So it's kind of just trying to get that coordination of them all right. But it's more whether or not it can get the colours right on screen. So if I dull the light down, you're not going to see it. So again, I'm going to pick up my sepia and I'm going to kind of put a shadow there. Shadow under here, and we'll put our highlights with our whites and stuff after. So if we get, there's one here as well, which I'm just going to do very lightly. I don't want to put too much in. Just kind of want to do that light. There's another one here. It's really hard to see them, isn't it? And you've got like a little shaded area here. And another shaded area there. It's really difficult to kind of see, you know, what's on your page because it's so lightly grayscaled on your tone tan. As long as you can kind of see the colours. So if I kind of bring it up, if I try to do it now, can you see the colours a bit better? If I sort of, you can see it, it's not as washed out. I'll try and get the colour right for you. Hold on. It's a matter of fiddling with the camera. It'll kind of get there as we go along. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Tilly, my white. I'm going to put some highlights in. So this is white. This is all luminance for now. We'll put in the darker areas in a minute. On the outside, I wanted just a little bit extra. So hold on, we'll put cracks in. You just mix between your colours. So this is white at the moment. You can sort of just add in where you want your white to go. Just mix. Oh, I don't know. She's always got something to say. Always got something to say. Buff titanium a minute. She puts the worlds to rights over there by the sounds of it. Okay, if I grab my black. Is that black? Yeah. If I grab my black. And you can darken up these sockets. And you go, like, shade it outwards. So lighten up the pressure as you come to the edge. And the same with this side. This will be darker. That's it. So sort of just apply a pressure firmly, but not too much. It's just trying to concentrate on this one. And then the same applies to the inner nostril. Sort of fade that pressure out. So it's just regards to pressures and how you want yours to look at the end. It's just reapplying. Oh. You're kidding me. It's snowing in Manchester. So we got, I don't want snow. They can keep that. They can keep that. Okay. Brown ochre 50%. I'm just going to go a little bit firmer there. And then, okay, oh, where is that one? And that's Naples ochre into the middle. So I want that to be a little bit of a sort of yellowed skull. I didn't want it white. Oh, they can keep that. It is cold though. It is cold. So I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but they're the kind of colours that you got from a disc, you know. It's hard to, the camera doesn't do it any favours. I just got the white here. Kind of mix in between them. So I'm going to go over these parts, and then same with the skull. Just going to bring the highlight to the top there. It just takes building on it. Just build up on it. So if I zoom out a bit, you might be able to see it a little bit better. So you can kind of see if I sort of dip it, it is like it's gone, it's just being washed out, which is really, really bizarre. I have to get the lighting right. You can kind of see it is definitely washing it out. What if I bring it down? Okay, so that you can kind of see at a distance there. It's got the white highlights. Take the lighting down a minute. So you got the white highlights, which your white pencil will come up against, and then you got the teeth. You got this kind of dirt. Now, if you want to build on that, sepia kind of color, just apply some more sepia into it, and you can just build on that as you go along. Now, with, as I said, with this paper, you're going to have to work a little bit more on it because it's a matter of light layers built up. So you kind of get the gist of it. Yeah, I think black black. That's what I just said. I thought black might help. You know what I do have? If you bear with me, I do have black card. We'll try this. We'll try this. We've got some black card. So if we try, we'll do this. Let's see if this works. Let's try this one. Now that's going to wash it out and we're going to have to try this again. Right, if we move on in, it's trying to get the lighting right on your screen. That's still washing it out. It's all different tones that come through on different backends. It's really bizarre how it does that. So I don't know if you can see that, guys, but it's a lot more pigmented than what is showing up on the screen. A lot more pigmented, and it's really hard to get that true to color, which is honestly, if I can try and fiddle, then I might be able to get it. No, that's not going to do it. It's really bizarre to get the lighting right. Hold on, guys. If I turn, there we go. If I turn it down, you can see it more on how it is, but it's still, I'll have to take a picture and upload it. So I'm just using the sepia to start with, to build up a little bit more. And the same with regards to the inner part here. And then I'm just going to bring on, with the sepia, I'm just going to bring in some cracks. So can you see that? It's bringing in some cracks to where I want it, and it's really hard to sort of get it on the camera, but it really is. Can you? Is that picking up the? Is it picking up the crack where I've put a crack in? It's really not picking it up for some reason. Hi, Kenny. So is that better? Can you kind of see the colours, how it's going to be turning out? So the same with these. I'm going to go in just first of all with my darkest shade, which would be the sepia. So that's like to put in where I want the shadows to go. It looks highly pigmented in front of me, yet on the camera it's not picking it up. So I have to adjust the light in here. It's the camera settings. So I'm just going on sepia first. So I'm going to put them in. I don't know if is it picking it up a bit better? Yeah. Yeah, it's like if I tilt it, it might be better. Hold on, let's try that one. So we might pick it up. So we'll fiddle. Okay, so going with the sepia, and we'll do one side for now and see what that comes out like. So just bringing those lines in one by one. Okay, so that might pick it up a bit. Yeah, it's not picking it up as clear, and now it's going to like make it blurry, but never mind, we'll get there. So 1 second, that needs to be a little bit. I'll take a picture and put it on Instagram, guys, and then you can see it properly. So that's just the white a minute. You'll get more of an idea of what it's going to look like on there. Okay, Susie. Okay, and this is white. So I want this to be the main colour with the sepia. So we'll build up. So we'll pick down the white to start with and add a hint of yellow after. So just going to put the white in for now. Just build on that as we go along. Is that picking it up better? So this is just going in with our colours to start with. We'll build on it. Then we're going to get our, okay, then we're going to get our brown ochre. We're going to drop a hint of that in. So it's going to match that skull. And we're going to define it up after. We're just getting our colours down to start. So brown ochre is 836 in the luminance. And that just adds that in so that you can see a browny tinge. It's not going to be, you know, so much. So get our buff titanium in. And just kind of mixing that in with the sepia, and that will kind of all merge together, but you want your dark areas anyway. So blend that tinge in. It's that brown off look that we've got going on. And then the final, you can kind of just go over that there. And it will kind of all blend in after. So you want this as your darkest side. So that's when you bring your sepia in, you can always sort of just highlight that a little bit more. We want that to kind of all merge together. And don't forget, our lady is going to be our focal point here. But we want to get these colours right. So this is the sepia again. And it just is a matter of just blending it in all together. And kind of getting those colours matching to the skull. Yeah, it's hard to get to grips with at first, I must admit. It got me a little while. So back to my brown ochre. I'm going to introduce that in with a sepia just to the edge. It's like, the thing is, with the toothier the paper, the more work you've got to go. And that's always going to be the case with tooth to a paper. It's a lot harder to work on. And it will take and require some more work, but it's a layering process with that. And don't forget as well, with these, they don't take very well to any wet. So the moment you put wet media on it, it's going to just soak up like a sponge and ruin the paper. These are specifically made for like graphite, pencil, coloured pencil. They are made for those kinds of things. They're not made to be tampered with water. So back to white. They are most definitely made for pencils. So it's just a case of trying to work with it. So it will kind of match. I don't know if your stat's picking it up. It will match the skull. And we all have a problem here. We've all got a problem. That's the problem. We've got a problem. We really do. It's addictive buying stuff, but then it's also, we have to use them, don't we? What's the point in getting them otherwise? But sometimes with the books, forget the materials, the books, you're buying it because you like to look at them. Okay, so we're kind of mix that on the same level as that side. So we're going to get our sepia, and I'm going to put in where I want the darkest areas to go. So I'm not going heavy. This is just a light because I'm building up. So just putting that in on these individual ridges. Just to start with, so we've got something like going. Yeah, I like looking through them as well. I really do. Like, it's ridiculous buying all the stuff and then just not using it. But sometimes you do buy them on a whim and you just like to look. I'm going to the white, and I'm putting the white on the opposite side to where I've got the sepia before we blend in other colours to it. That's the thing, you know, I always say that the black and white images can look just as precious and pretty as the coloured images anyway, so there's no shame in that. Okay, so we've got that first layer going. Yeah, yes, some people say that as well about Serene. So then we're picking up again the brown ochre. I'm going to blend that into some of the sepia. There's quite a few people who are intimidated by Serene. Okay, I think with intimidation we've all got that one book. You know what mine is? Zemulus Nova. And you know why? The tiny detail in that book is insane. There is so, and Beauty of Horror, because the tiny details, you're like, what do I do with that? How am I tackling that? Okay, so we've got some of that going on there as well. Then I'm going to bring in the buff titanium before we add the sepia onto the edge to take out the pencil lines. And then you're going to bring back the sepia. So that will be our darkest part. Not too much, not too heavy. Build on light layers as we go along. This wants to match the opposite side. So we've got this side already done, and we're just going to match this up. So I'll tell you the colours that we've been alternating between. And then the white. So the white on that end, we've ended the top that way. We're going to kind of mix the ends in there. So if you want to go in between the individual slots, you know you've got these parts here. You've got to make sure your pencil's pretty sharp and just reintroduce those lines. And that will just bring it up a little bit. So it's all sort of matching to how I want that to be. So it's slightly yellowed, and as I said, if you want to mess around with the shading, we can always do that as well. But they're kind of matching now. If you wanted to add a yellow tinge to match entirely, the Naples Ochre 821, just to add a touch. So the thing is with this paper, as I said, it requires quite a lot of work. So you will see the lines, and it's really hard for that to catch, but it is quite, I'll upload, if you're on Instagram, you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the line, the colours on there. I'll upload it to show you so that you can see it. So we want the highlight with the white on the inner side of that. So it just gives it that tinge. It kind of is really not showing it up as well as I want it to, but you know, what can you do? It's just one of those things, we're going to have to play it by ear. So I'm going to bring in that buff titanium to these little parts as well, guys. It just gives them, it's very hard to show it. Yeah, I think she's going to be more tanned. I'm just trying to read the chat. So I think we've made a start on her. I've been on for 2.5 hours because the first one didn't render and it gave you a horrible noise in your ears. But that is our start on the Halloween one. We've done the scar, and as I said, you'll see that more. Hiya, Connie. You'll see that more on a post that I'll post up. So we've got all these little bits in the back, but we'll do that. We'll do this in stages. Halloween one, we'll come back. We'll do the snake next time. I think I'm going to leave her portrait part a little bit towards the end. But as I said, you can print this off also on the white card, which will be totally different colors. If we did those same colors on this one, you will see the difference. You won't see the white, but you will see the dark, the yellows and the ochres. I'm just going to give you an example. If I went down here with that colour we've just used, look at the difference in the colour. It's a lot darker. So it depends on the toned papers, dependent on how they come up. See the difference? So if I bring that up, it needs to, there we go, he's just wants to play up. Okay, so you can see the difference on if you did it on a white paper as opposed to the toned tan. It takes a lot more layers, and it also takes a lot more playing around with it, and you can't see the sepia as much until I tilt it. So it's all dependent. Again, if I went in with sepia on this one, I'm just giving you an example. Look how dark that is. See how much work that requires on the toned tan to get that colour coming up. There's a huge difference in how to approach toned to approach white. You would need half the amount. Look how dark sepia is on that. I'm going with the same amount of pressure on this one, and that is a lot harder, and it's a big difference on how you would approach them. So it's a real big difference on how you would do that. So we'll stop that for now because I just wanted to get this started before Tuesday, and we will try and get as much as we can done. I'll have some Halloween stuff that we can like get involved in, or you know, we do something on Tuesday. This was more of a relaxed one today, and a more of a chilled out, what we're doing and trying to get things started. See, when I go back to the gnomes one, as I said, we'll come back, we'll spend 20 minutes. See how bright that is. Now that's changed the colour on the, that's changed colour entirely on screen. Oh, so how bright that is. And that starts to dry, so you can go in with some extra colours on that. So it is so bright, so it really does alter as soon as you put a different thing into the camera. So that's dried now, and as that dries you can see the turquoises, the darker blues, the lighter blues, and you can see that at the top like a lighter colour. So it's really bright. And now that that's dry now, that's completely dry, so you can, now once that's dry, we can go in more with our Posca and do our final effects on that. And then when we come back next time, this will all be done and we can finish it up with our Poscas and do the special effects at the end. So it makes a huge difference looking at that. That's okay. So we've started this off, we've had a go at starting her off. I hopefully that will show better in a picture. So thank you so much for today. I'm sorry it was just a little bit more of a laid back one today. You can see the difference in the toned, in the colours on the skulls. We will come back Tuesday. We'll be doing a Halloween stream and we'll get some bits done that we can. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. Tuesday will be a bit longer, so we'll have more to do. And then we'll start, I might do an upload and finish off the gnomes. So thank you so much. I'll put a picture up so you can see this skull. So you all take care. I'll see you on Tuesday. It's getting on for 6:30 here, so it's time to go and eat now. So thank you all. You have a great weekend, and thank you so much for coming on over. Have a great afternoon and evening. Take care, everyone.